beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Hello and welcome to Beautiful Legacy. I'm your host, Tiago Pinto. This February, we continue a special season, How Movement Became Everyday, a month dedicated to the people who shaped not only transportation, but the systems that make movement feel natural, reliable, and almost invisible. Not through objects alone, not through machines alone, but through decisions that quietly organize the world around us. Today's episode is about someone whose name rarely appears in design books, and almost never in everyday conversation, yet whose work structures how millions of people move, orient themselves, and make decisions every single day. Because before movement could feel fluid, intuitive, or safe, it first had to be readable. That said, hang with me for the next 10 minutes. The legacy of Ludwig Goller comes in the shape of DIN 1451. DIN 1451 is not a typeface you sit to read. It was never meant for novels, newspapers, or essays. It was not designed for emotion, persuasion, or expression. DIN was designed for situations where the reader does not stop, where the body is already in motion, where the eyes have a fraction of a second, where misunderstanding carries real consequences. Developed within the context of German industrial standardization in the early 20th century, and shaped decisively by Ludwig Goller, DIN 1451 responded to a very modern problem. How do letters function when society accelerates? As railways expanded, factories scaled, and road traffic intensified, written information could no longer assume attention. It had to compete with speed, noise, vibration, and stress. DIN 1451 was typography stripped of everything unnecessary, not to become neutral, but to become dependable.
Trace of who we were.
Goller approached typography less as an artist and more as a systems thinker. Each letter form was evaluated not by elegance, but by performance. Can it be recognized instantly? Can it be distinguished from similar characters? Does it remain legible at distance? Does it survive poor lighting, dirt, wear, or weather? The answer shaped the alphabet. Uniform stroke widths reduced visual complexity. Minimal contrast ensured consistency across materials and production methods. Distinct proportions avoided confusion between letters and numbers. DIN 1451 was not designed for reading lines of text. It was designed for recognizing signals. This was typography, calibrated for the split second, the moment where a driver decides to turn, slow down, or continue, where a traveler confirms a platform number, where a worker identifies a warning. In this sense, DIN 1451 belongs to the same lineage as traffic engineering and industrial safety, not graphic design trends. What truly sets DIN 1451 apart is not its visual appearance, but its status. It was not merely a typeface, it was a standard. As part of the DIN system, the Deutsches Institut für Normung, DIN 1451 became codified, regulated, and enforced. Its use removed subjective choice from critical environments. That shift is fundamental. Once typography becomes standardized, it stops expressing individual intent and starts expressing collective agreement. Across Germany, and later far beyond it, the same letterforms appeared on road signage, railway platforms, industrial facilities, technical instructions, and public information systems. This consistency dramatically reduced cognitive load. People did not have to relearn how to read every new sign. Recognition became automatic. DIN 1451 helped create an environment where movement could scale without confusion, where millions of people could navigate shared spaces independently without constant explanation. Its success is measured not in admiration, but in absence. Absence of hesitation, absence of misinterpretation, absence of unnecessary accidents. In the context of how movement became everyday, Goller's work reveals a crucial insight. Infrastructure demands neutrality. While branding seeks differentiation, infrastructure seeks sameness. While advertising wants attention, systems want compliance. While culture celebrates authorship, movement requires trust. DIN 1451 does not express personality, it does not tell a story, it does not persuade or seduce. It instructs, and by doing so, it respects the user's situation, often stressed, distracted, or in a hurry. This is typography that understands urgency. Typography that recognizes that when someone is driving, navigating, or transferring, clarity is not a feature, it's an obligation.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Although born in Germany, DIN 1451 quickly exceeded national boundaries. Its logic spread through European transport systems, influencing motorway signage, railway wayfinding, industrial labeling, airport environments, technical and safety communication. Even where DIN itself was not adopted wholesale, its principles shaped later standards and design decisions. Much later, designers would rediscover DIN as an aesthetic reference, adapting it for branding, editorial design, and digital interfaces, but that was never its original intent. DIN was not style, it was protocol. A reminder that some of the most influential design decisions in history were not driven by expression, but by coordination. The world we inherited from Ludwig Goller. Today, we live inside Goller's thinking, often without realizing it. Every time you read the road sign without slowing down, every time you recognize a platform number instantly, every time you navigate an unfamiliar city without anxiety, and every time you trust that information will appear where you expect it. You are benefiting from a design philosophy that prioritizes legibility over authorship. DIN 1451 helped define how modern societies communicate under pressure. It influenced not only physical signage, but the logic behind contemporary wayfinding systems, transport typography, and even digital interfaces, where speed and clarity remain critical. In a world increasingly obsessed with expressive typography and visual novelty, Goller's legacy stands as a counterbalance. Good design does not demand attention, it earns trust. Ludwig Goller did not design a famous logo. He did not seek recognition, he did not build a personal brand. Instead, he helped design a shared visual language for movement. A language so consistent, so reliable, and so embedded in daily life that it disappears the moment it succeeds. Within 1451, Ludwig Goller proves that when design becomes infrastructure, authorship dissolves and impact multiplies. And that truly is a beautiful legacy.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
You've been listening to A Beautiful Legacy. Throughout February, How Movement Became Everyday explores the figures who transformed motion into routine, from typography and engineering to concrete, speed, and spatial order. In the coming episodes, we'll look at Battista Pininfarina, Owen Williams, David Abbott, and more. If movement inspires you, follow the show and join me every Tuesday and Thursday. Until then, keep noticing the beauty people leave behind.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were. In the shape of a chair, in the light on a wall, someone's dream still stands tall. But